Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So now it seems that we are facing a sugar shortage. In recent days, Kazakhstan, India, Brazil, and Pakistan have all announced restrictions of sugar exports uh, to other countries. So now China is saying there is not going to be a true sugar shortage this year. They quote that I think New Zealand, no, Thailand, India and Thailand are expected to increase their sugar output in 2022. But what they said in a diplomatic manner is that this is emotional manipulation, which has the intent of driving up sugar prices. And by the way, Brazil is diverting 400,000 tons of sugar into ethanol production to take advantage of high energy prices. So they're taking food away to make money on turning it into alcohol to sell as fuel. So I guess this is neither here nor there because we need food and we need fuel. Without the fuel, you're not going to have much food, but that comes with a balance. Now, it is not a surprise. This was something I was already intending on talking about. The more grain that we use, or that there is a reduction in the supply, the more people are going to divert to other forms of starch. Starch is a very important calorie source for the human body. So if you don't have wheat, then people are going to turn to other forms of caloric intake. And there's also a shortage of oils. If you have a shortage of wheat, a shortage of corn, you got a shortage of dietary oils such as rapeseed and sunflowers, etc. Those are also important sources of caloric intake, especially in poor countries. Well, if you cause the price of sugar to go up, which is the next source of caloric intake for poor countries, you cause the price to go up. I've already addressed how, inflation causes starvation, hunger, starvation, etc. So if you divert from wheat and corn and oils and sugar, you're going to look at other sources of starch for the diet. You look at rice. Well, the more the strain is put on, and potatoes, the more you put strain on the rice and the potato crops, the supply of foods, then the more the prices on those things are going to go up. It is a domino effect. And so that means more people are going to be starving who rely on those things for their caloric intake. And of course, all of these don't really provide all the necessary nutrients to the human body. They don't provide, vitamin B and D and E and et cetera, et cetera. When you're talking about all these things, starvation doesn't necessarily have to include a lack of calories if they are empty calories. You can still have starvation, malnutrition, if you don't have enough iron and B vitamins, etc. It is an absolute fact in medical science that without the correct nutrients going into the body begins to malfunction and break down. So, but without enough calories, then that becomes even more severe. And of course, we have a shortage of baby formula. Now, this is a major criticism about our government, this administration, that, what Biden said was that, if there is a grain shortage, we can increase production. And this is not true. Look at the fact that if we could increase production, then why have millions of people a year been dying of starvation for every year for decades? This should enrage you. To even say this should enrage you. People are dying of starvation while we're using corn for ethanol and animal feed. Now you cannot eat the corn that is used for ethanol or animal feed because it is a different strain of corn that is not fit for the human body to digest. But the fact that, hundreds of thousands to millions of acres of land are being used to grow those crops instead of something that is edible is something that should upset you greatly. Are we now, if we can increase our food production, are we now going to divert that land to grow food as should have happened in the first place? That seems unlikely. The ethanol and animal feed industries will have a cow, pun intended. So the United States loves to portray ourselves as being independent and able to provide for ourselves, and yet here we are right now facing a baby food shortage, baby formula shortage. And I hear all kinds of ignorant statements. Women should breastfeed. Well, not all women can breastfeed. Buy breast milk that is produced by someone else. That is first of all, that's a limited supply. And second, have you ever priced these things? Have you ever looked at how much these things cost? Because they're not cheap. Yeah, some women have conditions which prevent them from breastfeeding. They may not produce enough or whatever. So that's not an option. So what are we doing? How about a mother that has to work 2 jobs to support her children? Most jobs will not allow a mother to take her infant to work and breastfeed. There are some jobs that do this, but not very many. Yeah, can you see this happening at Walmart, McDonald's, Target, Burger King, et cetera, and on and on and on and on. So that's really not a realistic option. There are a lot of Americans that object to seeing a woman breastfeeding in public. You've got serious emotional issues there. It's like, anyway, so we are importing baby formula from other countries. I think most of it is coming from Germany. Well, the problem is Germany's already, and Europe are already experiencing their own shortages and their own hyperinflation right this minute. So for them to be shipping out baby formula to us and increasing their production to send it to us means prices go up in Europe. Something that is not being explained also is that a lot of the same ingredients that go into baby formula also go into things like nutritional shakes that are used for the elderly, cancer patients, and I drink nutritional shakes because of my ulcerative colitis. It boosts my caloric intake because I have a condition where I can only digest just so much solid food. So it's very likely that we're going to start seeing shortages of nutritional shakes, Boost, and I can't think of the other brand name. But this is going to cause problems for the elderly as well. And where there's not a shortage, we're likely to see an increase in the prices. Those things are not cheap. And then it's going to keep going further downhill, further down the chain. You're going to see shortages of, weightlifting supplements, protein supplements, and so forth and so on, because they're not just pure protein. They are also include other ingredients that are used in baby formula, so now you've got a shortage of those as well. Everything has a domino effect. When you take one thing out of the supply chain, then you put stress on other parts of the supply chain. Then you cause inflation. Then you cause more suffering, more deprivation, etc. So this is a natural occurrence that we are going through, and we still have no peace talks that are going on. Russia keeps on saying that they are open to peace talks, and Ukraine keeps on refusing to hold peace talks. This has got to end. It will end soon. I mean, the Russian offensive has gone on turbo. Limon? The fight for Limon, Russia expected that battle to take days, a week, even longer, and it was over in a few hours. It was over in hours. They were shocked at how fast that they took that city. So this will be coming to an end in the near future, as long as NATO doesn't stick its nose. I wanted to say something else, but as long as NATO doesn't stick its nose in there and spark World War III. And then what kind of shortages are we going to be seeing? And what kind of suffering are we going to be seeing? How many more resources are going to be diverted to warfare? That will cause global famine. It will happen if that occurs. So let's just hope that ultimately this comes to an end in the very near future. Let's hope that Ukraine decides, screw the West, we're going to sit down and have peace talks while we've still got a country. Anyway, share this video, talk about these subjects. Like I said, what is the next food shortage that we are going to be seeing? I'll have to give that some consideration. But I expect rice and potatoes to be next in line. And by the way, we had a potato shortage last year. So what is going to happen this year? We don't know. Not yet. Let's wait and see. Share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate $1 a month or whatever you can to help expand the channel and my presidential campaign. And I will catch you in the next one.